Oof, this might be a long video and a different one because I'm gonna talk about a show and it's twice as long as a movie. And secondly, because I really like the show. Like I really liked it for so many different reasons that I'm gonna talk about later. Like I won't be able to focus on like jokes and point out the goofy things. Of course, I'm gonna point out the goofy things, but not so making jokes about them, and I will focus on the creative writing of the show. By the way, I will spoil everything. I'm gonna talk about the entire show from the first episode to the last episode and everything in between. And so it's not a long show, it's like 3.5 hours, so go watch it. I really liked it. So the name is Get Ready because I memorized it. The Woman in the House Across the Street from a Girl in the Window. Yeah, I know, you're thinking it's a stupid ass name for a show. Or is it? That's so fucking interesting. Like I was telling my friend, like I started watching the show, and I was like, the woman that the house. And he's like, oh yeah, I know that show. I saw on Netflix. Just the name of it. He didn't see the show, but just the name because you can't forget it. It's just a stupid long ass name for a show. It's way better naming your show this long ass name than just calling it The Woman in the Window, which they actually did. It's a decent movie. It's basically the same, but just in a movie format. And I'll just say that the story was made for a show, so take it. So there's 8 episodes, and every episode is like 25 minutes long. So it comes to around 3.5 hours. The first episode does a great job of introducing this character, Anna, who is played by Kristen Bell. You might know her from The Good Place or Frozen. She was Anna in that as well. But Kristen Bell was the main reason that I started watching the show because I loved her work, except Frozen. Who fucking likes Frozen? So thanks, Christy. The character is very fleshed out. She has lost her daughter 3 years ago. She divorced her husband and basically lost her entire life just from that thing. She lives alone in a huge house. She can afford this house because she's an artist. She's good at painting, but she's lost her passion ever since her daughter died. All she does now is drink wine that she mixes up with pills and just stare through a window at people. Because of drinking and mental problems, she forgets a lot of things, like hot is hot, and that she has lost her daughter. Like at first episode, she drives her to school. The only meal she does for the entire show is casseroles. Like she does it for every occasion. Guests come over, casseroles. She goes to the guests, casseroles. She makes casseroles, she eats casseroles. That's all she does. And like I can relate to that, like stuck in that routine where you lost your entire life. Like I haven't experienced nothing like that, but still, it's the thing that I can understand. And she's very, very nicely written character. I think all of that is best said in her words.
When your past is so present, how can there be a future? There can't. You're just stuck in the present with your past.
She also has umbraphobia, which is fear of rain, because when her daughter died, it was super raining. So now it haunts her for the entire show. Also, the show has very great horror elements with occasional jump scares, which I didn't even notice when I was watching it for the first time, because I've watched like crazy amount of horror movies and I don't get jump scared anymore most time. But the very first scene is like this creepy ass music is playing, like it reminds me of that Freddy Krueger nursery rhyme. And later it literally flashes the entire show in the first episode. And throughout the show there's constant sounds coming from the attic, and like people going there investigating, like saying like, oh, I heard sounds, like what's going on here. So but like it does a great job putting us in Anna's head that it's like, I don't know, is it real? Is she just imagining it? And like, if you pay attention to some scenes, like Anna going to her daughter's gravestone, the messages change every time she goes there. It's like, it's fucking creepy, okay? But the thing that creeps me out is this Buell guy that fixes the mailbox for the entire show, like from the start till beginning. I'll talk about him later because he's fucking terrifying, bro. And like, you start thinking of theories, maybe like he does not exist, just Anna imagining him, it's like crazy. So a new neighbor moves across the street from Anna. His name is Neil. His wife has died and they had a daughter together named Emma. And instantly he's portrayed like this love interest for Anna, getting her life back together. They have a lot of things in common, like she looks at him when he's working out, he looks at her intensely, when she's sleeping. What helped me immerse in this story is the awkward dialogue between them. It's like, you don't need to write this amazing script for characters. You just need to write a real one, and they did it.
Enjoy your flowers.
I was thinking in my head, of like, what can I say? Like, what's, normal to say for new people? Some scenes feel a bit too dramatic, Like, come on, bro, you are not touching your hands that romantically. After watching the show, I've noticed a lot of things are in her head, just told from her perspective. So I think she's just, imagining or like remembering like that it happened this way, like super romantically, while in reality it was just a random touch and just like move on. So that's an interesting thing to think about. So the first episode ends with Anna thinking everything is nice, her life is going, back up, everything is going great, but we hear sounds from the attic and Neil is looking through the window like super intensely, and it kind of raises the suspicion that Neil is not the one for her. So the first episode did a great job like of setting up this character, his like entire backstory. It's sad, but it rose up and told her that she has potential to get better. There's so many moments in the show where it just hits you perfectly. So Anna is going to Neil's house, and then she hits with like another girl, and they're both walking in the same direction. And oh my god, I can relate to it so much. Like, first time I watched it, I had to pause the show because I just was too much. That entire like 10-second scene felt like an hour. I was in so much pain, but it was really relatable and very fun to watch. So that's Lisa. She's Neil's girlfriend, and oh my god, I feel Anna's pain. Like, everything was perfect. Everything was perfect. And this fucking girl, and now she's standing there awkwardly. Are you serious? A group hug? Come on, Anna's right there. Like, how dare you not invite her? Well, like, the last episode felt like a very sad character finally getting their shit, together. This episode just tears that apart and even lowers, her mental health. Like, Neil being not single and Lisa being a total B-word. The marker that she gave to Emma, to draw, Lisa just threw them out, in front of Anna because they smelled bad. And also she hears her friend talk shit about her.
Did you know that she has a drinking problem?
Which just seems kinda too perfect, like they wanted her to hear that. And you think that's enough. This episode shows how the daughter died, of Anna's. And oh boy, it's a crazy one. So it's take your daughter to work day. So Douglas, her husband, takes her to work, and he works as a psychiatrist specializing in serial killers. Yes, a proper job for a 9-year-old to go. What he decides to show her daughter is Massacre Mike, a person that killed and ate 30 people, and then just walks out, leaving Emma with Massacre Mike alone in that room. That's all we find out. Like, yes, he killed her and kinda ate her. Fuck, that's so fucked up. And I know it's not really like a believable story, you know? Who takes their 9-year-old to, you know, go watch a serial killer, you know? It's like, don't normalize them. They're not humans anymore. And just like leave her alone with him, you know, not thinking of a possibility that something could go wrong. And also not hearing their screams, you know, while you're just so close to her. And this is why I like the show. Like, it doesn't like feel like a generic murder mystery. It boosts the plot to 100%, like sometimes risking the logic for shock value. But I can pay respects to that. And we'll see the shock value so much later. But for now, Anna is stalking Lisa, going through her Instagram and seeing this sexy Rexy in her pictures. By the way, great name. Like, after all, she gets like super frustrated and destroys her painting, lashes out at her neighbor. I can understand that, you know, just you're at the lowest. What can you do?
Seriously, Anna, you are no longer in my prayers.
Oh no! The episode ends with Anna seeing a girl in the house across the street from a girl in the window die. The viewer becomes her. We saw Lisa die, but also she drinks a lot, so maybe she didn't die. We don't really know, but like when FBI comes and just says like, oh, you've been drinking, nothing happened, everything is okay. Lisa is on a flight, she did not die. Anna gets stuck in her mind like thinking, was it real? Yes, it was definitely real, I saw it. But I was also drinking. So it's very like immersive. Everybody is super annoying at this point. Like FBI is doing jack shit. The Carol is going to everyone telling she drinks a lot, so don't believe her. And like Neil saying like, oh, it's all on grief, you know, you lost her daughter 3 years ago. No, you fucking cunt. I know you're being nice, but still, like, fuck off. I know what I saw. But what she does next is very difficult to watch, at least for me. Like, she breaks into Neil's house. Well, she picks the lock, which I'll ignore that. But she goes in the room where she saw Lisa die, and she finds a earring, and that means, oh, she died. I don't know why that means that, but sure. And then Neil comes back, and oh my god, that moment was so fucking intense. Holy shit, I was thinking of scenarios. What would I say? What, you know, lie I would create? So she understands she fucked up, so she goes to her friend to, you know, ask for advice to just help her. And she tells this.
No, I am telling you, I saw her.
You see Elizabeth too.
Yeah, that really helped her, and she goes through a small adventure trying to fix her life. She goes to this anonymous alcohol thing, you know, she sees a vacation, she goes, you know, to the airport to go on this vacation, and she sees a poster that flights to Seattle will be, you know, available soon. But Lisa said she was going on a flight to Seattle. So that really doesn't make sense, you know? If she's already in Seattle, the flights are not available now. So she's back on the murder mystery, and the main suspect is Neil, because, of course, who else? Because Emma, Neil's daughter, said to her that he gets mad very easily, you know, and he loses his temper a lot. And, like, the biggest reason why she thinks Neil killed Lisa is because he was a suspect in the murdering of his wife. And damn, with that pic, you can make anybody look like a murderer. So the 4th episode starts with Neil and wife, and her entire death. So we see Neil's temper, and we see Neil kill his wife. So if I'm watching films, like, most time, if like I saw it, that means it happened. But I had to take a different approach to this show, because like, don't take everything for face value, you know? Just, it's her imaginating. She's just putting things she saw, you know, on the articles and putting his scars and creating this bizarre story that we don't really know if it really happened, but the show really tries to convince you it's Neil, but we all know that it's never the one that you most suspect. She goes to visit Neil's ex-wife's sister, and she said that she had some suspicions that Neil was cheating on her, but never said that he loses his temper or something like that, you know. But Kristen Bell is like, oh, he definitely loses his temper, like, definitely. And she's like, nah, not really. Like, she tries now convinced that Neil is the killer just because of those couple things. But the sister tells that like there was another accident like 2 weeks after Emma's mother died. Her teacher died. She fell off a lighthouse on a school vacation, and she goes there to investigate. Mark Evan Jackson gets a fun cameo. He's from The Good Place and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And she finds out that Neil was the driver on the trip. Yet again, she puts this bizarre story from a couple things she knows, like maybe Neil cheated on his wife with the teacher. The teacher found out that, you know, he killed his wife, so she was like, I'm gonna report this to the police, and he was like, no you're not. Yeet, out of the lighthouse. And she links another scar to this murder. So Anna sees that he's carrying this, obviously a huge bag that is carrying a body. Like, what else would it be? So she follows him, but she does super poor job, and he takes it very nicely. This crazy lady, you know, follow you, come on, like, do something. But he's like, he explains every, like, death that happened and every scar, and he opens the bag and it's a ventriloquist doll. Yeah, he's just a comedian. Yeah, this doll that weighs not that much, I'm guessing, because you're, you know, puppeteering with one hand in this huge ass bag that is like human sized. So I still believe that Neil killed everybody. I think it's a great time to talk about the show's pacing. The show is about 4 hours long, but it feels so much longer, but like in the best way possible. There's so much story squeezed, like in those 25 minutes, you know, in one episode, there's going so much, but it never feels overwhelming. Like, the story doesn't overlap with each other. It feels like one continuous one. And like, when I watched it the first time, I did not even notice the entire story. But when I finished it, I was like, oh, this happened. Oh, and this happened. Oh my god, when did this happen? Whoa. There's so much shit squeezed in those 4 hours, and I love it. So Anna is walking back home from all of that adventure, and Sexy Rexy shows up. And you think he will fuck shit up, but nah, he's super fucking cool. Honestly, his scenes feel like one of the best scenes, like in comedy aspect. So Anna just lies and says that her husband will come back soon, so that, you know, put pressure on the Rexy. And he says like, oh, text him to, you know, go to the shop. And this hilarious thing with Brett happens.
Why is this weird? I'm concerned about you? Why the fuck is he concerned about you?
Because he knows that I don't eat carbs. I'm on this diet, so I don't eat bread.
Then why the fuck did you say you wanted bread?
I said bread.
And I really like the comedy in this show. Like, there's not a lot of it, but when it happens, it kind of relieves you of that tension, but it never feels like the writers are trying too hard to make you laugh. It just comes off like naturally. So let me explain who's Rexy. He's a stripper. Now you hooked. And he met Lisa, whose real name is Chastity, who was working at the bar, and they teamed up to scam rich people. So Lisa would date rich, lonely people, you know, for a month, and then tell that her brother, Rexy, has like a very rare disease, and, you know, they can't afford it to pay. So that the rich person would pay for that, and then she would, you know, naturally break up with them, take the money, and she would do it constantly, you know, and now she's with Neil. But like, Rexy is such a nice guy. He's like a genuine person that, you know, has no clue what's going on. You know what I like in the show is the characters. There's not a lot of them. There's like 2 main characters, Anna, Neil, and then like 5 side characters. I tend to like movies that have like just a couple of characters, so I would get to know them better, you know, and to relate to their story. For example, I Am Legend or Passengers. Those are both great movies with minimum cast. So it's impressive when a show has a small cast. So thumbs up to you. So at episode 5, Lisa's dead body gets revealed. I don't know, I don't really like that. I think that was Anna's job to find out. Would love to see her reaction to, you know, finding her body. It gets revealed just to the audience for now. I have this conspiracy that just the writers ran out of cliffhangers because every episode ends with a cliffhanger. They just like, oh, what can we do now? Just show her the body, that's it. Wait, you find out Lisa died? Well, also she was scamming you, but you still look like that? You know, just casually? Yeah, I think you killed her. So, the 6th episode is no doubt the worst episode. Mostly because Rexy gets arrested of this just voice message.
Listen, you fucking bitch. I will not let you take me down. You got me into this, and I'm not letting you hang me for it.
And like, everybody believes it was him. Like, Anna's like, oh my god, how could I have slept with a killer? He fucking told you everything that happened. Why would he come to you to look for answers? Tell everything, sleep with you, make scrambled eggs in the morning. That makes no fucking sense. But I know it's just for the audience to believe that Neil killed everyone. So Anna, after figuring out who finally killed Lisa, can finally relax. She throws out all the alcohol, all the pills. She goes with her friend Salone. She spends great time. She finally, you know, talks with Neil, you know, get everything sorted. Everything is going great. We'll forget all of that. Now she's the main suspect of killing Lisa because they find a murder weapon at the crime scene, and it's one of her palette knives. And Rexy couldn't kill Lisa because he was at work, you know, the cameras caught him, you know, just doing his own thing. That makes no fucking sense. Like, what? Of course Anna didn't kill Lisa. We saw, you know, Lisa die, and like, Anna tried so badly to figure it out what happened, but after putting more thought into it, I kinda believed she killed Lisa, because like, she drinks a lot, she mixes it up with pills, and you know, she can lash out, you know, just of her emotions, and she kinda imagined killing Lisa. And, you know, not remembering the next morning makes sense, you know, and trying to investigate this. That's kind of cool. But, like, how she killed, you know, Lisa while being drunk and then cleaned everything and then hid the body without Neil and Emma seeing her makes no fucking sense, but cool. And also that, what the fuck? Is she nuts? When I first watched it, I was like, oh my god, conspiracy, Neil painted this and framed her, putting the palette knife here. It's definitely Neil. FBI, catch that motherfucker. But the police fully swatted Rexy just over a voice message. But for Anna, that she has evidence of like murder weapon and she's crazy about this family, she just gets a walk of shame. So she goes to jail because her fingerprints matched the weapon, and also because when she called police to tell about the murder, she told her address, which, come on, it's in the panic, the moment, everybody could have done that. So Anna gets released from prison because Salone paid the bail. Wait, is that how life works? You know, just complete evidence that Anna killed just a woman? And because you have money, you can go home. She is now home. Neil shows up and he pulls a gun on her just to show her. So yeah, at this point I'm like, okay, if Neil killed Lisa, he wouldn't do that. But like, you had such a nice conversation like 1 day ago, and now you're like, fuck you. So Anna starts having these visions of stabbing somebody, and she sees blood in her attic. So she calls her therapist, which she did like across the show multiple times, and it gets revealed that it was Douglas, her husband, that she was, you know, talking to as a therapist.
The woman in the house across the street!
Oh my god, she did the thing. She said the thing. Only half of it, but she did it. So Douglas calms her down and just tells her to go to the attic to see what's happening. And it's just paint. And the vision of stabbing somebody is just her painting, which is still fucking creepy. And she sees that somebody was sleeping in the attic all this time. It was Buell! Buell killed Lisa and took this her palette knife to frame her. Oh my god. And now he's walking to Neil's house to finish the job. Okay, finally I can talk about Buell, because his story is like sprinkled across the show, and he's very interesting character. So Buell has killed his entire family and kinda has been mentioning it to Anna.
And I have some pretty hard stories about my father too, but that's for another day.
Douglas rehabilitated him and released him as criminally insane, but hired him to fix the mailbox. And it happened before Anna's daughter was born, because he set up this painting thing for her to, when she was pregnant, to paint flowers. So he has been fixing this one mailbox for at least 13 years. Like, what the fuck? And also, on top of that, he does not feel pain. And for some fucking reason, he's obsessed with dead animals. So she runs after Buell to, you know, save Neil and Emma, and she sees that Buell is dead. Okay, so Neil is the killer, right? Because who else? Because, like, Emma starts screaming.
Daddy! No!
Oh, Neil is dead. So who is the killer?
People always underestimate children.
When they say the killer is the person that you least expect, they took it literally. A 9-year-old killed 4 grown-ass people. Since when her face becomes so punchable? She killed Lisa because she did not want to buy her chocolate. Yeah, I can't blame her. Like, damn, she's a mastermind. She wrote messages to Neil and Rexy from her phone, you know, just to say that I'm okay, I'm alive.
Sorry, I've been ghosting you. I had a family emergency.
How does a 9-year-old know what ghosting is? She framed Anna by taking her palette knife. How the fuck did you know the layout of the house and could have taken the palette knife faster than Anna in her house could have taken her checkbook? Also, she's fucking stupid as hell. Carrying Lisa's leg for no reason, you know, while she's selling cookies. What if, you know, you sell some cookies and, you know, just like ignore the leg and the blood, here's some cookies, bye. And like, she mopped the floor perfectly and carried the body into the woods. A body that weighs 5 times more than her to the woods. Is Neil fucking stupid? How the fuck did he not know what his 9-year-old daughter was doing for a week? Frankly, conspiracy me speaking is that Neil saw, you know, Emma kill Lisa, but he wanted to protect her, so he cleaned everything, he hid the body in the woods. And also, Emma killed her own mother because she was pregnant. Like, she had this crazy plan to like cut this dog so when her mother walks on it, it breaks, and when she stomps, a 9-year-old, no, maybe younger, 8-year-old, steps on some wood and this dog breaks for no fucking reason. And she also killed her teacher, and now she's attempting to kill Anna in this amazing fight scene between a kid and a grown-ass woman. Not realistic, because I would so hit a 9-year-old into the wall, she would wake up after 5 years in coma, and she could only eat through a straw.
Where's this gun? Where is it?
Yo, what the fuck? I was just joking. Don't pull a gun on a kid. Thank God, Anna finally kills that B word, but now there's 3 dead bodies, and Anna is the only one alive, between them. But thank God Douglas walks in and sees that Emma was trying to kill, Anna, and that proves, Anna did nothing wrong. It was a 9-year-old that killed everybody. But also, Buell is still alive, so he could have told that, hey, Emma truly fucking killed me. Okay, my conspiracy meter is going off like crazy because she wakes up in a hospital and everything is too nice. Like, there's flowers, like when she was pregnant, too perfect. Everybody comes to apologize, to her, and she says the same line like 3 times.
Like I was hit by a Mack truck, driven by a 9-year-old.
I think she's fucking dead. Like, everything feels too good to be true. Later, they go to this art show of Anna's all paintings.
It's like I got hit by a Mack truck, driven by a 9-year-old.
And she does it again. Like, I would be so mentally traumatized by this entire experience. I got my ass whooped by a kid. And also I killed a kid. But, what is what is. Like, I would need therapy for years, but Anna is good. And I think it's the best time to talk about her paintings. Like, every painting type has a different chapter in her life. At first she did like landscapes, but that didn't do so well. So she started painting dogs as Mona Lisa and started getting attraction. It was silly and fun, short thing to do, but not her passion. But when she met Douglas and was pregnant with Elizabeth, she started painting flowers in her hospital. The flowers like truly reached her style and like the calm and relaxive paintings. And after losing her daughter, she stopped painting and like painted just too obsessed over people and wish that she had the life she lost. That is a great storytelling just from a career, and it didn't take a lot of screen time and I really liked it. So throughout the show, Douglas had a girl, Anna saw her, at Instagram, then at his car, and now she's at the gallery, so the viewers and everybody thinks it's Douglas's girlfriend. But no, they just work together. I have no clue what they are doing together, but I guess they're just working. And also, Douglas was the only person to buy her painting. Like, I would feel so bad, it's like nobody buys your painting except a person you were married to. And like, I think she would make it for free, it would be an honor to, give this painting as a gift. Wait, is that rain? How is she not getting wet? I'm telling you, man, she's dead. Oh, now she's soaking. So now it's been a year, she's back together with Douglas, and they had a baby, and Anna is taking a flight to New York to see her friend Sloane. Fun fact, while everything that was happening with Lisa, she was reading a book called The Woman Across the Lake, and now she's reading A Girl on the Cruise. Kinda interesting. The coolest shit that happens is this creepy ass lady sits next to her.
What takes you to New York?
Business.
Man, that is creepy. And later she wakes up after drinking too much vodka, because she doesn't drink wine anymore. She goes to the bathroom and sees the business lady's body, and she's telling to the flight attendant, come look, and there's nothing. Boom. And they're telling her she never existed, there's nobody sitting in 2A. And she finds the business lady's pocket mirror, and the mystery begins all over again. Yeah, I know nothing makes sense, but I'm so hyped for season 2, and I hope they call it The Old Lady Who Was Sitting in C2A Near a Girl Who Slept Next to the Window. That is it. That's all from The Woman in the House Across the Street from a Girl in the Window. Yeah, I really liked the show. I think it was a fascinating and unique story. I didn't think it would be so long before I started writing, but the script turned out to be 6 pages, 4,000 word essay that I wrote for 2 weeks, but I loved every second of it. So I hope the show will get a season 2, but that's enough for now. See ya.